Hello students, I am Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Dayal, Professor and Head Department of Physics, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. So today we are going to learn about types of elastic modulus. As we know, the modulus depends upon stress and strain. So how we apply the force on a body? So depending upon the stress and strain, we have three types of modulus: Young's modulus, bulk modulus and the rigidity modulus. So first we will learn about Young's modulus. So for this we will consider a wire of length L. So for this we will consider a wire is attached to a rigid support. The length of the wire is L and a force is applied at the lower end of the wire, and the magnitude of force, as you know, F will be equal to mg. So when we apply the force along the length of the wire, it gets extended, suppose, by the length delta L. Again repeating, the length of the wire is L, and when we apply the force mg, the wire get extended by the length delta L. This the original length was L and the wire got extended by the length delta L. Now as per the definition of stress, what we know, it is force applied per unit surface area. Now as the force it is applied along the length of the wire, so this stress will call it as longitudinal stress. And this is equal to force per unit area. And as usual, the unit of force is Newton and area it is meter square. So the unit of longitudinal stress will be Newton per meter square. Now coming to the strain, as again the force is applied in the direct along the wire, so it is a longitudinal stress. The same way the change in dimension means change in the length of the wire, that is the strain, will write it as longitudinal strain. And as per the definition, what we know, strain is the change in dimension by the original dimension. So here the change in the dimension is delta L and the original dimension is L, means delta L is the change in the length of the wire when the force is applied along the length of the wire, means on the cross section of the lower end of the wire, and L is the original length of the wire. So as per the definition of modulus, how we define? It is stress by strain. It is stress by strain. So how we will define Young's modulus? So Young's modulus we can write it as, it is longitudinal stress by longitudinal strain. Now if we assume that this is equation 1 which defines the longitudinal stress, equation 2 which defines the longitudinal strain, and will substitute the value in this equation, suppose 3. So what we get, that Young's modulus in general will denote it by capital Y, that will be equal to force per unit area divided by change in length divided by original length. So rearranging the equation, we get Young's modulus is equal to force divided by area, length by origin change in length. Denominator goes to the numerator. So Young's modulus, we can write it as force per unit area multiplied by ratio of original length to the change in length. Let us assume this is equation 4. So equation 4 gives the expression of for Young's modulus. Equation 4 gives the expression for Young's modulus. Now let us go for the second type of modulus, which is bulk modulus. So bulk modulus, for this, to understand this, let us consider a body it can be of any shape, you can consider a circular body as well, on which the force is applied normally and as well it is uniform in all the direction. Means we have to apply the normal force, normal uniform force from all the directions. Same way we can apply the force normally from, will apply a normal and uniform force on the body. So what it happens, the body gets compressed if the force is applied on the body. Uniformly it will get compressed. So if we consider the strain, we call this as bulk strain, or we call it as volumetric strain as well. Because when you apply the force normally, generally the change in the volume occurs. How we can write it? Change in volume by the original volume. If we consider that change in volume is delta V, by applying the force normally and equally from all the direction, and the original volume of the body is V. Coming to the stress, we call it as bulk stress, the force applied per unit surface area, that is F by A. This is also can be denoted as tension produced in the body, that is T. So the bulk modulus which can be written as bulk stress by bulk strain, and it is denoted by capital K. We can write it as force per unit area divided by change in volume by original volume, and rearranging this equation, what we get, force per unit area into original volume divided by the change in volume. Once again, if we apply the force from all the direction normally and equally, if V is the original volume and delta V is the change, delta V is change in the volume, then strain can be written as delta V by V, bulk stress can be written as force per unit area, that can be written is equal to tension, which is nothing but force per unit area. The bulk modulus we can write it as bulk stress by bulk strain, or it is defined as bulk stress by bulk strain. So, and it is bulk modulus, it is written by, denoted by K, which will be equal to, as per the equation, stress by strain. So, force per unit area divided by change in volume by original volume, and rearranging this equation we get K is equal to F by A into volume divided by change in volume. As per previously while done, we are writing the equation number equation 4 is the expression for bulk modulus. Now, the third type of modulus what we are going to study is rigidity modulus. Now, for this case, we consider a body, it can be cube, it can be any volumetric structure only, means we have taken it as cubical body, where the bottom surface is fixed with a rigid support, and on the upper face the force is applied tangentially. The bottom surface is fixed and on the upper surface the force is applied tangentially. Tangentially means parallel to the surface of the plane. So, now we will draw one such surface where the force is applied. We will consider one such face, bottom is fixed and on the upper surface the force is applied. We will name this A, B, C and D. Now, when we apply the force tangentially, then the upper surface change the position. So, we consider that the change in position for point A is A dash and for point D is D dash. So, what it is there, when you apply the force tangentially, there is shift in layer by layer surface of the body. So, we will consider the upper surface where change in position of A is A dash and from D is D dash. We consider that the original length is L of each side and the change in length is delta L, or change in length is delta L. The change what it occur is by distance delta L. Now we will write the stress and strain equation. So in the case when the force is applied tangentially, we call that stress as shearing stress, and as per the definition it will be equal to force per unit surface area, and the strain produced we call it as shearing strain. So this will be the change in length by the original length. Here we consider the angle by which the change is occurred is theta. So if we take out the tan theta value, it will give you the relation between delta L and L, change in the length and the original length. So this is what delta L by L. Tan theta will be equal to perpendicular by base. So delta L by L. Now this change theta is very small. We cannot, as in the figure we are able to visualize, but if we consider a body, a rigid body, this theta is almost negligible. So tan theta we can write it as only theta, and that is delta by L by L. So now if we define the rigidity modulus, we can write it as shearing stress by shearing strain as per the definition of the modulus. So stress is what? Force per unit area. So rigidity modulus we denote generally by eta. So this will be equal to force per unit area divided by change in length by the original length. We can rearrange this equation and we get force per unit area origin into original length by the change in length. Now this delta L by L we have denoted it by theta, and if we take reciprocal of this equation, then L by delta L will be equal to 1 by theta. So then we can write this equation as F by A into 1 by theta. Now again, if we denote force per unit area as the tension produced in the body, then this rigidity modulus can be expressed by the equation T by theta. So we can denote it by two equations. Eta is equal to F by A into 1 by theta, or eta is equal to T by theta. So if we number the equation 1, 2, here 3, this is 4 and 5. The equation 4 and 5 is the expression for rigidity modulus. Once again, if I repeat it, if we apply the force along the surface, means the tangentially to the surface of a body, then the change in position, if we consider of the surfaces, and the upper surface we denote the change in a position of A to A dash and D to D dash, then the change in length is delta L, or change in position also if you can say it is delta L, and originally the length was L. So we can write steering stress by force by area, steering strain by change in length by original length, and as per the definition, rigidity modulus will be equal to steering stress by steering strain, and substituting the equation where we get rigidity modulus will be equal to F by A into L, original length by the change in length. So substituting the value of delta L by L, we get rigidity modulus is equal to F by A into 1 by theta. And if we denote F by A by the tension produced in the body, then it will be rigidity modulus eta, that will be equal to T by theta, the expression for rigidity modulus is given by both equation 4 and 5. While solving the problem also, we can take as per the parameter given, we can use the equation. The next important parameter what we are going to learn is Poisson's ratio. Now, if we consider a wire-like structure where the force is applied along the length of the wire. The length, if we consider L is the length of the wire and D is the diameter of the wire. Now, if we apply the force along the length of the wire, or we can say perpendicular to the cross section of the wire, that not only there is change in length, there will be lateral change in the diameter as well. The length will change in the longitudinal direction, and in the lateral direction there will be change in the diameter. So we can consider another way, that the diameter of the wire it will be reduced and length of the wire it will increase. Changes so this change in the diameter is equal to delta D, and change in length is equal to delta L. So here two types of strain it is occurring. One is there is change in length, and other there is change in diameter. So change in length, as usual, we call it as longitudinal strain, and that is equal to delta L by L. The lateral change in the diameter we call it as lateral strain, and that is change in the diameter by original diameter. Now, how we define the Poisson ratio, which we denote it by generally a term sigma. Poisson's ratio, we define it as ratio of lateral strain to the longitudinal strain. So, we will substitute the value of equation 1 and 2, we get sigma is equal to delta d by d divided by delta L by L. So, further we can write that as sigma is equal to delta d by d into L by delta L. Now, further we will solve this. This longitudinal strain, which is change in length by original length, and lateral strain, it is change in diameter by original diameter. So, now we will come with the other term alpha and beta. So, alpha, it is defined as longitudinal strain coefficient so alpha can be written as alpha can be defined as longitudinal strain per unit stress. So, we can write it as alpha is equal to delta L by L divided by stress, that is T, and further we can write it as delta L by L 1 by T. Beta, we define it as lateral strain coefficient, which can be written as lateral strain per unit stress. So, this equation we can write it as delta D by D into 1 by T. So, what we get lateral strain coefficient, what we get longitudinal strain coefficient is delta L by L 1 by T, and lateral strain coefficient beta, it is equal to delta D by D into 1 by T. So, this equation of longitudinal strain coefficient and the lateral strain coefficient, if we compare with equation 4, we get sigma is equal to beta by alpha. Beta by alpha. You compare it, beta is equal to delta D by D 1 by T, and alpha is equal to, from here, delta L by L 1 by T. T cancels out. What we get? Sigma is equal to beta by alpha. So, how we define the Poisson's ratio then? We define the Poisson's ratio as the ratio of lateral strain coefficient by longitudinal strain coefficient. Poisson ratio is defined as the ratio of lateral strain coefficient and the longitudinal strain coefficient, where lateral strain is nothing but change in the diameter and longitudinal strain is nothing but change in strain. We can write this equation as equation number 7, and this is equation number 8. Thank you.